Morning folks, welcome to another Chesterfield Canal restoration episode. Starting somewhere different today. We've headed down to Renishaw. We've come for an update, see what's going on with the Rewatering Renishaw project. Yippee, it's raining. I do love filming in the rain, love it. Not. So it was, I think it was episode 1, way back at the start of 2022. We first came and reported on Rewatering Renishaw. And it's safe to say, other than a little bit of tree clearance, vegetation clearance, the project itself pretty much stalled. Various reasons behind that, but there has been a little bit of impetus recently, which we'll cover in this video. And we'll also take a trip up to Staveley to have a look what's going on with the new lock installation up there, the Keith Ayling Lock. And I do hear a rumour it's not raining in Staveley today. The recent big give appeal for Rewatering Renishaw revealed the true scale of public support behind this project. While negative comments do surface from time to time, the response to the appeal told a very different story. In total, an impressive £10,936 was raised from 189 individual donations. On top of that, a further £1,711 has been added through gift aid, significantly boosting the overall total. Beyond this, 59 supporters had already pledged a remarkable £13,350, with many of those pledges also expecting to qualify for gift aid. Taken together, the appeal is now expected to raise around £27,000. Quite simply, this section of the project would not be happening without that level of support. So just a reminder of what the situation is at Renishaw. The disused canal that passed through Renishaw, that's what we're walking alongside now. And in 2009 we had a short section of canal put back through Renishaw, and that's what you can see there. And it was all in conjunction with the new housing development that the canal runs alongside. But as you can see, there's no water in that canal. So when we say that a short section of canal was put back, there was various problems with that, which we'll go into over the course of this video. So I'll bring you down to the most southerly end of the Rewatering Renishaw project, and we'll have a soggy walk through. Now this spot here, Miners Bridge Crossing. Now several people at pains to tell me over the years there was no such thing as this. They don't ever remember a bridge or anything called this, Miners Crossing. It didn't exist. Renishaw Park Colliery is just the other side of the river over here, but we did have the Chesterfield Canal Trust put back, or should I say, put some narrows in to here. You struggle to find them these days, but they are under here. And this is where the project is starting, I suppose. This is the start of Rewatering Renishaw. And we've got the public footpath coming down from the road at the top there, and that crosses the course of the canal. And that's going to be the future Bridge 17A. There we go, look, there's that stonework that was put in a number of years ago. So I've got a couple of things to mention as we go along today. So we've been watching the work progress up at Staveley, haven't we? Now that is big civil engineering, that they're building new canal there in essence, albeit on the old alignment. And that's all subcontracted out, isn't it? That's been basically just handing it to O'Brien's, letting them do the dirty work. The section in Renishaw is actually going to be undertaken by the Chesterfield Canal Trust work party. And they're going to have assistance, you know, from other volunteer groups. I think I've seen mention the Waterways Recovery Group. They're going to be involved with some of this project as well. Now what we've got here, look, that little section there, since the narrows, what's that, 50 yards, not even that. Look, we've got a bunding here, because the other side of this bunding, look, it's a bit of a green carpet at the moment, low level weeds. This was all cleared of heavy vegetation, you know, big trees a number of years ago. But the definition of the canal is still here, look. You can see the cut in there, can't you? Now, one of the biggest issues when they put this section back in 2009 was the lack of maintenance. There doesn't appear to be forward planning. It got put in because of the houses. There was no fresh water supply for that, so the water became very stagnant. The canal leaked, hence I always comment, very, very smelly walking through Renishaw. It's not that pleasant, especially on a warm summer's day. Now it's going to be different this time, because we are going to have provisions for a fresh water supply. And this is the Clinker Wood side weir. Now this is going to be restored. Can't say I really understand the mechanics of this. Am I right in assuming this is going to be taking water from the river Rother, that I think's kind of below us, just to our right hand side here, and it's going to be pumped in the canal through here? This was all cleared a number of years ago. Look, can you see the opening there? Just making my way down into the cutting. Excuse me. Not very graceful. So we can see into this slipway. And this one time this was all covered over with vegetation. Excuse me. If they want to stop the flow of the water, we've got, just move some of these stones away. You can see the stonework there at the bottom. That's a drain. You can see at the bottom there. You can see the, I think it's a bit dark, but I'm sure I can see the top of an archway down there. And people are also asking, why are they doing this section? Why are they suddenly, you know, they're cracking on with Staveley. Why are they suddenly doing this bit in Renishaw? It's a good question, but there are reasons. You know, the Staveley thing was progressing because of the Staveley Town deal. We had a big acceleration there in terms of funds. But it's great that these two things are going to be done in parallel. And it is a great question. You know, why don't they just concentrate on getting up the puddle bank, getting across the Doley before they start doing another section? But when they do eventually get across the Doley, you know, this is going to be a massive incentive having this section of in-water canal. So I think it's great that we have got some restored sections moving in parallel. So here we are approaching Barbara Road, the Barbara Road Bridge, just going over there. We've got the Narrows, look, just on the entrance to here. And just in front up here, just the other side of the bridge, is where the canal veers sharply to the right. There's a lot of water coming in there, isn't there, through that gully. What's that? Is that coming off the road? Is that draining straight into the canal? It looks really dirty. No wonder it smells. So that's about 500 metres back to the Miners Crossing, where that new bridge is going to be. Some in water in inverted commas. Some's just got the canal cut and dug out. But look, when we come to this next section on this corner, back out into the rain, we can see the canal's filled in again, so it's all going to be after excavated out. Blackwit's Corner this is called, and this is the new compound that's been put in by the Chesterfield Canal Trust. But if we just look down here, look, just inside the compound here, you'll see a hole. Doesn't look too glamorous or interesting, does it? Stood here. But down in there is where they've been testing. Something called the Terraseal membrane, and that's something they're experimenting when they're restoring this section of canal. And Terraseal membrane, I'll just read this from my notes. It's a lightweight, self-healing, non-woven geosynthetic fabric impregnated with a super absorbent polymer. It means nothing to me, any of that, but it's a material that they're testing the lining of the canal with that's great for water retention, and it's used particularly in civil engineering applications like canal lining. And I think one of the key phrases in that sentence is self-healing, isn't it? So this is a test hole basically. They've lined that, this is my understanding, they've lined that with some of that Terraseal stuff. And it's got water in, isn't it? I mean, everywhere's got water in today. This really is a disgusting afternoon. Sadly, this is the only opportunity, this is the only window I've got to come and do this now before Christmas. And I wanted to get this video out before Christmas. So cheers for putting up with the rain. You'll see the new housing development on the right that we mentioned earlier, and we can see that the cutting of the canal is back with us now. Now this was re-excavated, shall we say, back in 2009, all part of the development around here. Let's call it ill-fated restoration of a small section. I mean, I'm sure it's done a lot of the legwork and the hard work in getting this canal back through Renishaw. I suppose we'll look at the positives. I suppose there was nothing wrong with the actual restoration of this. I think it was the aftercare, wasn't it? And you can see the scale of some of the work that was done back. That's 16 years ago now. Why has it really been that long? Look, the piling walls that they put there just underneath where the these flats are towering above the canal. And here we go, we can see the bunding coming into view here. And this is as far as they're taking this section of the project. But obviously I did a video exactly a year ago now. We looked at the entire section, the entire 9-mile section. We looked in a 30-minute video, we just skipped along what's left to restore. It's going off that way, that Crottin Spinkhill Road, and then back onto the railway mile over there. And although this video is primarily about the Rewatering Renishaw side of things, I can't not come here and give you an update on how the new lock construction is going on. I am filming this slightly earlier in the day. I wanted to get a few drone shots and stuff down here before it started raining. It's only 9 AM and the work site's already hive of activity. So much is happening, isn't it? In such a short space of time on this new lock construction. It was only last week I was here and they were just getting, was it the rebar? All the metal poles in place. It looks like they've actually got some cement poured now. So it was only a couple of weeks ago I was here with Steve, wasn't it? And we was talking about, they was putting the, what's the phrase now, the blinding, is it? And you can see now there's definitely a base, isn't there, look? They've poured an awful lot of concrete since I was here at the weekend. So it's Thursday today. So that's only 5 days ago I was last here. It was actually a mixed photo that I saw where they looked like they were pouring concrete. A hi to Mick. Usually see Mick paddleboarding down the canal, just up there. See all the pipe work over there, look, just waiting to be put in. I'm assuming that's for like the bywash, the drainage, etc. Now, I did a live video last week. When I did the live video, I said I didn't know how much this lock was going to be raising the canal by. Got the answer to that, thanks to George. 1.7 metre rise, this lock is going to be. In conclusion, Renishaw is moving forward, Staveley is edging closer, this canal is being put back piece by piece. Still a lot to do, but these are really big signals of intention. If you've not seen them, go back and watch some earlier videos in this series just to see how far they've come. Go and support the Canal Trust, join the volunteer party. You could be part of this history and you could in future tell people you helped rebuild this canal, this historic canal. I don't know if these guys are stopping for Christmas or having a break or if they're going to be carrying on, but this will be my last video for 2025 from the Chesterfield Canal. So anyone who's watched the videos this year, have a fantastic Christmas, have a great new year, have a nice restful period if you're not working. Sadly, that's not the case for me, I am working. Cheers for watching these videos, cheers for everyone's support, anyone who's liked them or commented or said hello to me when I've been out filming. If you watch these videos, if you watch any of my other videos as well. So, from Staveley, we'll bid you farewell. Cheerio, ta-ra.